Good morning, tarot lovers. How are you today? We have a card of the day today, which is the very happy card of the Tower. Oh my god! Check this card out. Okay, so one of the darkest cards in the tarot deck, and some people's least favorite. And while there are other cards which are kind of scary, this is the card that talks about maybe more of the painful changes in our lives. So if you have a look, it's a tower built on a bunch of rocks, and a lightning bolt hitting the tower, knocking the crown off the top, and two people jumping from the tower that's in flames with these flecks of golden, what they're called yods actually, and this is a card of transformation, but not the wonderful, happy, sweet kind that we really love. This is the card of transformation where we're being slapped in the face and kicked up the butt, and there's upheaval and chaos and craziness and madness all around us, and the world is changing and the rug has been pulled from underneath our feet, and we're like, don't know what to do, and there's our house is on fire, our world is crumbling from around us, and what is there left to do but jump out of the tower to our guaranteed destruction? It seems like a very negative card, and it seems like there's a crazy amount of huge destructive energy in what this card talks about, and that's definitely so. And sometimes we are so unconsciously conditioned in false patterns and ideas, and we're so attached to the ambitious ego and what we think is really important and what we think we need in our life, that we lose our focus and our vision of what is really important for us. And we might base a lot of our life upon ideas and beliefs that are not real. This tower is the tower of false beliefs. It's the tower of false ideas. It's the tower of your ego to which you are attached. It's the tower of our arrogance and pride that makes us feel so wonderful and so important. It's the tower of self-importance. It's the tower of all of those core beliefs that we have been taught to believe in about ourselves that do us no good whatsoever, that they may even be negative beliefs, but we've based our identity around them, and it's a false identity because these are false beliefs that are not in line with our highest good, or the highest good of anybody for that matter. And this divine thunderbolt of God comes down, strikes the tower, slaps us in the face, and asks us and forces us into some form of change. And it's going to be a chaotic change. It's going to be a painful change. It's not usually an easy story. It's usually quite a challenging one, because when we're forced to change ourselves from the inside out and from a deeper level of self, it's a huge positive change potentially, that's for sure, but it's always going to be a little bit uncomfortable. When this card comes up, there's a general need to sit with the chaos for a while. If you feel confused, if you feel in doubt, if you don't even know what this card means, ask yourself, because this card can come up sometimes to help avoid disaster, sometimes to show you, hey, if you carry on this way, boom, you're going to get lightning bolt hits you, and you're going to get sometimes that's our stubbornness to change, our rigidity in holding on to ideas and beliefs that we know deep down are not good for us, but we still buy into in some way or another. It's our stubbornness and holding on that causes this lightning bolt to come down. And the positivity of this card is that this is what's really good for us. If life isn't going like you planned it, if you find that there is a destructive element to your life in this moment, if there is some crazy chaos going on, and it seems to be around certain events or certain situations, and there's other people involved, try not to blame anybody else, because this amount of chaos comes into our life a lot of the time to cause us movement where there hasn't been any, to force us into action and force us into shifting and really questioning the foundations of what we think are real for us. And when we are challenged in such a big way, it's like that. It's like the general story that, people don't look for self-growth and transformation unless the shit hits the fan. And when it does, then it's like, oh, what can I do to make things right again, to, find my balance again? Allow yourself to sit in that discomfort. Allow yourself to sit in the chaos, in the confusion. Allow it to be. Don't try to push it away. Don't run away from it. Don't avoid it at all costs. Sit with it, not to let it grow, just observe it, allow it to be. The confusion won't last forever. It will leave you eventually. The disaster is coming and it will leave, and you need to embrace and ask yourself, wow, what are the big changes that are called for here? What is the greatest, or what is the most false ideas that I'm holding on to in my life? What am I desperately clinging to that no longer serve me? And if this card's come up the right way around, you probably know what these beliefs are, what these ideas are. And if you don't, a little bit of questioning, you'll find out what they are. And the world around you will usually tell you too. It'll be spelling it out with clear words. Another card came out with this tower today, which was the Queen of Wands reversed. And so maybe we can just take a brief look at her to see that, this very open queen who's open for transformation and change. Maybe you're a little bit too open. Maybe you're welcoming too much into your life. Maybe you're getting too busy. Maybe you're saying yes to too many things. Maybe you're saying yes to the wrong things. And maybe that's part of the belief system that needs to change. Maybe you have these ambitions and these high hopes. Maybe you have a desire for something that is not based upon your heart's truth and your deeper reality, but it's based upon false conditionings that have been programmed into your psyche from a very early age. Maybe look at the Queen's openness. She says yes to everything. She welcomes even the darkness. Maybe it's not a time to be saying yes to darker stories. Maybe it's a time to lift yourself into the light and be more positive. But there's an aspect of the Queen too, and this came up in a reading I was doing yesterday too, about the light and the darkness. Maybe there's a little bit of spiritual bypassing that might take place here as well. We might be covering up, we might be pretending that things are all right when they're not, and we might have a tendency to always look on the bright side in this conviction that looking at the darker side doesn't only get us depressed and only brings us down, when in reality looking in the right way can actually help see what there is to transform. So I hope there's a positivity in this message. This is a gift from God, whether we want to admit it or not. It's a gift. It's a gift, so embrace it as such. Embrace all those negative experiences as positive opportunities for transformation, and we'll probably go through them a lot smoother and faster instead of resisting and fighting the transformation and fighting the people that might be just the messengers instead of the actual story that needs to be received. Wish you all a fantastic day with lots of destructive love.